we got our mealworms here. These just arrived the other day, and we got two different setups. They're pretty much the same in concept, but as you can see, they're two different things. This one's a lot larger, and eventually we'll have this setup. Right now, all the mealworms are just in the bottom here.
Okay, so the plan is here. We'll be feeding them bread, scraps, whatnot. Hopefully, we'll eventually feed them mostly on mushroom compost and other food scraps from our plants. We'll have to do some tests, see how that goes. For now, we're waiting for them to turn into pupas, which will hopefully be soon, in the next week or two. Then we'll separate out the pupas by hand, put them in this top bin that has this mesh bottom that's sealed off. The pupas will hatch into beetles. The beetles will breed and lay eggs, and supposedly they'll burrow down to the bottom here, lay their eggs on this mesh, and the baby mealworms will fall through the mesh back down into this container where we can collect them. So that's the idea behind the design here of these two enclosures. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes.
So, right here we have our 3 worm buckets going. To show you, we're comparing 3 different sized. So this is the medium one. These are 1 1/4 inch holes. I believe there are 12 of them here. Other one, we've got, let's see, this is a real small one, and then we have 2-inch holes in this one here. So, the bucket underneath, this is just 1 inch or 2 of damp cocoa on the bottom. Right now there's no worms in this bedding layer. All of our worms are up in the top. So, on the top, just to keep as much water packed in here as possible, we have just some grass clippings and some other loose vegetable scrap, or garden scraps. Farther down, it's mixed in, but we got a bed of cocoa with vegetable scraps and some brown material here, some leaves broken up. But we put 50 worms in each of these buckets, and so far they seem to be doing great. So on 4 sides, we have 4 of 4 holes, just for a little bit of air exchange in the bucket so the worms don't suffocate. And at the bottom of the second bucket are very, very small holes, just to let enough water through so they don't, so this whole thing doesn't get really soaked and just become a whole anaerobic mess. But right now they're outside, so we don't need to worry about it. But if we ever bring these somewhere else, we might do a catch tray underneath, or if you need to, you could do a 3rd bucket. But for right now, this suits our purposes. And yeah. So here we got our larger worm farm, our worm breeding bin. Not quite the most ideal setup currently, but we had a lot of extra scraps and brown material to put in here, and a lot of worms. So we just decided to throw it all in here. So the only modification to the tote is just these little rectangles on each side, with a little screen for air exchange. Same idea, just grass layer at the top to hold more moisture in. And what we did here is sort of buried the scraps on either side, to where most of the food is just over here. And you can see, so we've got a worm right there, another one in there, and they're just all up in this organic material. Most of them are in the bedding layer, but they're really working up into all this food here. This one just brought it out here from inside to keep it out of the sun. I forgot to mention with the buckets, the same thing. They're back behind the shed to keep them out of the sun, because you don't want these to get too hot. It will kill the worms. But for right now, they're doing good. This is nice and cool.
What kind of worms are we growing?
These are all red wigglers. Yeah, so We have other worm bins going with worms from the garden, but we got red wigglers specifically for this, for breeding and compost.
Awesome.
Yeah.